So once again, prepping for some gardening stuff today. Um, what I am doing today is I am going to sow some larkspur seeds, and they like it to be quite cool, so I've left it to like later in September, and they've been in the fridge on a little bit of wet tissue. But you can see from these ones, I'm not getting like a great germination rate. And my sister was saying that there's like a saying or something that anyone who believes you reap what you sow isn't a gardener. Because yeah, they don't pop up. And that's with seed compost. So what I'm trying to do is actually the lady picked at Dawn channel on YouTube. She uses multi-purpose compost for her seedlings, and obviously she does quite well because that's literally her whole business is selling bud plants. So I'm actually going to use. I've had this before from Thompson and Morgan, and it's very like it's got a load of coir in, like sort of this sort of stuff. So it's sort of really strawy and actually a bit too much. But I'm going to mix a bit of that with a bit of this, which doesn't really have it in, and then a bit of perlite for drainage in the pots. And I'm going to sow the larkspur into that and just see if that improves it and does anything better. And the other thing that she does on her channel is, I'm just going to show you my little setup inside, is when a seed prefers darkness for germination, she covers them in wet cardboard until they've germinated. So I'm nicking her trick to see if that helps things crack on. So yeah, we'll see. And then if I've got time, I've got these two. Oh no, it's not these two pots actually, but I've got these. I picked up these today. So these are the sort of things that see you through winter. So I don't know how to say them. Cyclamen. This is hellebore. We'll see. Dolores. And then I think this is like heather. We'll say on it. I don't know where the little tag is, but anyway, obviously you can see what it is. It's kind of a heather. So I think I'm going to put those. I'm going to do some pots, including those, and I'm going to get some of the plug plant winter pansy and violas that we did are popping up. So we're going to put some of these in, and I'm going to redo my hanging baskets because the begonias are starting to look a little bit worse for wear now. So it is time to. It's my old Woolerton rose, beautiful. Yeah, I mean they're not looking good. So I'm going to do my hanging basket, redo these for winter, so we can get them done. And then obviously the other jobs are planting bulbs. But I'm going to save that to next week because I just won't have the time today. The kids won't give me more than a couple of hours of reasonable behaviour, or my husband won't look after them for long and that without a bit of a break. So yeah, and then the other things you can see I've got going are these. This is my poop. That's actually my mother-in-law's plants. I think it's spinach or something. So we're just watering those for her while she's away. I put a dahlia in here just to keep it out of the way after our tidy last week. These are snapdragons and they need light to germinate, and they're so tiny that I actually just surface sowed them with a toothpick. But it is on the seed compost, so I'll see how that goes. And actually, because they're so small, I did use the little small cells that I've got. So hopefully they'll germinate. And then these ones are my other plants that have actually done all right, but I've moved them out here now to give me a bit more space. And it's still reasonably warm. And then over here, these are my lupins that have all popped up. And I found the ones in the pots have done a lot better. I've literally almost got nothing in the propagator. And what I did with them in the pots is covered them with a tea towel. So these ones, yeah, sorry about that. Covered them with a tea towel. My phone went a bit mad. I think the gimbal didn't know what I was doing. I've covered them with a tea towel, and these ones seem to have germinated really well. So the ones that still haven't come, I'll leave them covered, and then I'll see how they go. But yeah, that's my jobs for today. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I've had these larkspur seeds in the fridge probably for too long, actually they look a bit like they're not doing. Maybe I shouldn't have left them that long on the wet tissue. But so I'm going to mix this little compost mix up myself and fill this thing and sow them, and then I think they like to germinate in darkness as well, so I'll cover them with some wet cardboard, which I've got here ready to go, and the lid. And then I'm going to leave them in the cold frame to germinate because they need it quite cold, even after being in the fridge. I think they only like it 10 to 15. So the temperature drops after today. I think it's about 20 today. And then it drops for a week. So hopefully that'll give them a good start. And then after that, I'll try and get my pots and hanging baskets sorted out. Might rope the kids into that just to keep them occupied. Otherwise, it'll be hell to pay. But yeah, we'll see how we go. So I do think that looks a little bit more like the type of compost that she sows into. Maybe not any perlite, but I did try and get the compost she uses because she does say on her channel which one it is. But I couldn't find it, or it wasn't peat free, or the one I could get, whatever. So I thought I'd just leave it and try it because I know this one before had all this stuff in, which sort of hers is actually wood. I think that's coconut, but so I'm going to sow them into here, and then we'll see how that goes. There we go. That was took a lot of concentration, and I've actually got enough seeds left. I might do another one, but I'm putting 2 in each one, and then I was sort of like making a dib and then putting them down, but actually there's just so much going on, and the seeds are so small that I put them on the surface and just sort of padded a little bit of compost on top because it's 5 millimeters. They need to be sowed down, so it's hardly anything. So this is gonna get bottom watered now for 10-15 minutes, and then I'll put the lid on, and we'll put it in this north facing cold frame to keep it cool, and we'll see if all the planning works out. Probably get 2 plants out of it, but anyway, we'll give it a go. Just to show you how painstaking this was, this is sort of double time. And I'm just sort of poking in like 2 little seeds per cell and then covering it over, and this was each one. So they are done, and the cardboard's sitting over there wet, so I'm just bottom watering these 2 trays, and then for another 10 minutes or so. Once that's done, I'll put the cardboard over the top and the lid on the top. I don't know if that's a little bit too warm for larkspur, with all those lids and then sticking it in a cold frame, but we'll find out, won't we? And then my next job is I'm just doing these autumn pots. So this isn't the little plants, and these ones I'm going to do. I think it looks quite a nice combination. But yeah, I need to improve this compost a little bit in these pots, and then I'll get these planted up so they look nice. I've just assembled things for, I'm going to do a soup maker courgette soup because I've got these courgettes I need to use, and I just whack the general things that I've got into ChatGPT, and it will tell me what to do. So it said onions and garlic, a little bit of spice, and then once you've sort of sauteed that off, stick it in the soup maker with everything else. And except maybe the cream was just a little bit added at the end. So yeah, and last week I did like a kale one, and it was really nice. So sort of similar recipe in there. Then I can just put it in a jar and I can have it for the rest of the week. So it's quite handy. It's my little gardening interlude to make some soup. Right, my jobs are done. So I've got my 2 larkspur covered in cardboard. See how they get on. Then I've done my little autumn pots. That one looks pretty. It's pretty actually. This one looks nice as well. I just need to tidy up around it as ever. I like that one. Yeah, and then it's coming together. It's coming together, I think. So I haven't actually done anything here. I'm not sure why I'm walking over. The cover crop is actually coming into flower, so that's quite bushy and pretty. But once it's flowered, and hopefully that's a little bit of like, last summer food for something, then we'll mow it and then leave it where it is where it's been mowed, and just use it as a mulch. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. Look, this rose has opened up now. So pretty. And it smells so nice. And then this rose. So there you go, David Austin roses. The only thing is they don't last long, like only a few days. But they're really pretty and they just keep going and going. So that's those. Move this thing. That's nice for autumn as well, actually. Autumnal. And then I've done my hanging baskets, but I'm hoping they're going to grow a little bit. So they just look like that. But they're not trailing. So hopefully they'll do all right. I don't know. It's just a bit of colour, isn't it? And that's all my jobs. So I've got a little bit of sewing to do tomorrow. I mean, I don't know where I'm going to put all these things. And then I'll do my bulbs next week. And then I'm largely done, really, apart from potting on and jobs like that. But yeah, productive day at the end of the day. There we go. This is just to finish off, this is the soup. So it's lunchtime now. So there we go. Quite a productive morning. I'm going to have this soup. It's very nice vegetable and lentil soup in it, and then some cherries. Oh yeah.